G'day everybody, welcome back to the Dangles Jiujitsu channel. Today we're going to look at a topic which is reversing from underneath the bottom position. So we're going to look at it from the half guard and from underneath the side control as well. So in the gym I like to refer to these reversals as cylinder escapes. Okay, we make our body shape basically so that the person on top can roll over the top of us like a cylinder. And the most famous example of this, when I was at the Mundials, the world titles in America in 2010, Gracie in the final of the absolute black belt division, famously got taken down and the crowd went wild that he was stuck underneath for the first time in the whole competition. And within a few seconds, he was under the half guard and he set up this exact reversal and got the top position and went on to win. So if you go and check that, you can see YouTube videos of his match against Dementia in the 2010 absolute finals. It's worthwhile having a look. And the opposite of this also, I've seen Marcelo Garcia do a variation of this in the other direction. I've seen it work multiple times in the UFC as well. With different athletes at different fights. So both of those are very, very good. We'll go through those first, but then we'll also look how we can apply that same idea to escaping underneath the side control when we can't manage to get our forearms in front and work our classic jiu-jitsu escapes. Okay, so first and foremost, I'm going to have a lie down here. If Jace just jumps on top. So if I'm in the half guard bottom position here, again, this is going to happen especially when he's got a really strong cross-face and underhook. So normally speaking, we'd be looking to try and get our forearm in front, recover some sort of guard, use this leg over here to get inside or around and grab onto something. But my arm's trapped outside here, I can't get an underhook. So he shut down all those options and he's got me in a very strong position here. So when that happens, for him to keep this, he has to keep everything in nice and tight. And when that happens, that basically takes away his base of support. So when if this fails, it can often help me to he needs to expand his elbow or his knee away from his body and it helps me recover a guard. But when we do it properly, we don't need to. We reverse wind up on top. So if he is here and he locks in tight on me, I'm going to use my arm to come down and block on the outside of his knee while my hand and bicep is going to help push his head across my body. When we combine that with a strong bridge and we're going to move and knock him over and just like that, roll him like a cylinder. Okay? So just look at that from a different angle. If Jace just pops out the other way. So one of the key elements of this is that we need to get him moving first. So if he is here and I just do this straight away, it's going to be difficult. But if I start to threaten to try and get my knee in front and force him to follow me, you see his knee comes in nice and close. And when it does, it sets up a nice timing to go and get that to work for you. Okay? So when that happens, we can immediately look to reverse in the opposite direction. Okay? So if it fails, it's going to give us good energy to go back and take him in the opposite rotation. So with that, same again, he's in the position. If I do go over here, I'm going to work on his knee and his neck at this point. And if I want to come back in the other direction, I'm going to work on his armpit and his elbow. Okay, so we need to take away his base there. So if I get here and I start to work hard and he resists back hard the other direction, I'm going to change my hand positioning. I'm going to bring this one up to his armpit, this one down to his elbow, and then turn hard in the other direction. And we can go and rotate and get the reversal. So if we look at this, again, just one at a time, because we can do this obviously as the first move rather than the second move. So if Jace is here, and he's got me locked in this position, I can immediately go from being on my inside hip to my outside hip. So if I get here, I'd take those positions we looked at right from the start. I'm going to move my hip this way, bring my elbow down. I can either bring my hand underneath his armpit or I can even come and lock in tight with my hands here. Keep this elbow stuck in tight to his body. We can do different things with our feet here. This is often referred to as a knee lever sweep. So I can get this position, lock him down, lift, use my knee to tilt, and then take him over to get the top. So that's great. So again, we classically see that from the half guard position many, many times, but we can also get a very similar reversal from the side control. So the key point with this one is that we need to make sure we lift our hips up and connect our hip or our thigh to our opponent's leg and hip basically to get a good reversing energy, but also we need to make sure we get our opponent moving. So if we just look at this one. So again, Jason's going to get on top. I'll actually go this way for this. So he's on top of the side control. So essentially the same position as before, but now my legs are free on the outside to move. And so we're going to do this, especially when he's got a super tight knee position up here that I can't get my forearm in front, I'm going to have to do a little bit of movement to be able to reach up and get that block on the outside of his leg here, just as we did from the half guard. So from here, I've got this as well. But to knock him over here now, like I said, I want to make our shape into a cylinder. So to do that, I walk my hip up and I connect all the way up here. So the inside of my thighs touch right into his pocket up on top here, and now he's got enough of a lever between the hip and the knee here for me to be able to move into him and then knock up and kick over to get the top position. A final counter to that, or when he starts to counter with the energy, we're going to do that same thing, but in reverse. We're going to lift our hip up nice and high, and then as he pushes back into us, we're going to drop our hip down underneath towards his knee and roll him in the other direction. The last one. Set up again, you'll see the legs obviously are free here now. I haven't got any control like I would do on a half guard. I'm going to hold him, I'm going to block that leg so he can't go in this direction. I'm going to start to try and knock him over with my arm and my leg in this direction. But as soon as I get here and I feel that resistance, my hip goes from being high, and I'm going to go and dig in underneath his knee here. So I drop, take that momentum, and then take the top position. Awesome, thank you. So there you go, guys. 4 different ways to work one of those cylinder rolls from underneath the half guard and from underneath the side control position. So again, we never do anything in isolation. If all you do is go and just do those moves, and you know it's going to be very difficult to make them work. But if you can add them into your classic other games that you're playing from underneath half guard and from side control, getting under hooks, looking to attack their arms, looking to attack their legs, etc., you're going to find that it's very helpful and you'll hopefully get lots of success with this. Let us know.